All right, everyone. Thank you so much for coming. My name is Taylor, and I'm with Scott Leroy Marketing. And today we are going to go over Designs 101. This is going to be just a brief overview of all of the options that Designs gives you. And we do have additional classes that you can find either on our YouTube channel or later in the month, where we go over some of these options more in depth. Feel free to also throw questions in the chat. I will do my very best to get those answered. And if I miss it or I don't answer questions that you think of later, you can also email us at support@scottleroymarketing.com. The first thing is we're going to start on command. So we've got our login screen here. First thing we're going to do is type in our username, which typically has to do with your name and maybe some numbers, as well as our password, and then sign in. And then once that loads, the first thing we recommend doing is going to your marketing profile to make sure that all of your information is as up to date as possible. So in the upper right-hand corner, we're going to go to our settings. And then over here on the left-hand side, you'll have a couple of options. We're going to go to Connect Settings, Marketing Profile. This is where you can input your headshot, any team logo that you have, if that's relevant. If you are not on a team, we do recommend putting in either a Market Center logo or maybe an additional headshot. As you'll see, it appears in our designs that we create later. All of your details can go here. Market Center information. Any links to social media that you'd like to include. And then hit save. Once you've made sure all of that is updated. And then we're going to go to our designs. So if you want to click on the red KW in the corner, that will actually pop out the names of all of these applets while you're still learning them. And we are going to select designs, which is the paintbrush inside of a square. And then this page might look different for those of you following along. If you've not created anything in here yet, this is probably going to be blank. But any sort of material that you've made before in designs is going to show up here. You can search designs if you have a lot. You can also filter by different types if you're wanting to find everything you've created of a certain type. You're welcome to follow along, but it is not necessary. This will also be posted on our YouTube channel. So if you're wanting to follow along when you're at a better position to sit in front of your computer and pause and go at your own speed, you're welcome to do that as well. But you can also sort over here, change the view. If you wanted to import a design from something else that you've created or upload a PDF to then edit, you can do that here and you can drag and drop it. You can also start from blank or use a template. But what we found most commonly is create design. And these are the types of options that you can choose. We can create an email, a social post, print marketing, or a video. Typically, we see that social and print are the most common. So we're going to start with those. I'm going to start by selecting social and continue. And then that will bring us into templates. You'll see up here, we have our template section where we default to. Images. These are stock images that you can use or search through if you'd like to use them on any of your designs. My designs will take you back to this page where you can see anything that you've made before that maybe isn't saved. And assets. We typically recommend starting here the very first time you come into designs. This is where you can upload and save certain types of data that you will frequently use. So if you have a specific color palette that you're going to use on most of your marketing material, images. So this is where we recommend headshots or most commonly used photos. Text fields. Most of this will pull from your marketing profile that we went over already. However, you do have the option to add a new field as well. Logos, so any office logo, team logo, those kinds of things. Elements. This is going to typically be where a lot of your links to social media is going to be that will pull from your marketing profile. As you saw before, I did not have any set up. Otherwise, we could link them here. Videos. If you often create like an introduction video or you include videos in a lot of your marketing, you can upload those here so that they're readily accessible. Or files. And once we have all of that set up, we're going to go back to templates and select from all of these different types. We have listings, buyers, lead generation, business basics, holidays, collections, luxuries, lots of different templates that you can use. For the sake of the example for social media posts, we're going to go into the I Heart KW section. And as you keep scrolling, more will just pop up. You can also filter and you'll see different pixel sizes. So social wide, typically going to be for Facebook, square, most likely Instagram, social stories works for either Facebook cover pages or Twitter cover. And once you select the kind you'd like, it will filter your options based on that. And we are going to just select whichever one we'd like and hit use. And then this menu pops up if you have multiple pages in a document that you're wanting to update. I'm going to just close that, however, since we have a single page, and zoom in a little so that you can see what I'm doing. And you'll see, first thing, we recommend renaming your design. Typically, you'll have your own naming convention that makes sense to you. I'm going to choose to leave this IG at the end of the name to show me that that is an Instagram template so that I know it's a perfect square. And then you just start selecting the piece that you'd like. So first, when we select this, we can see that there's a shape that is moving. You can leave that. When you select the logos icon, it should pop up with the assets that you've already set up. And then we are just going to replace logo. You also have the ability to add, which pops it in randomly, and then you can adjust and move around as you see fit. Once you have a frame selected, you can also see all of these other options that you can change the look of. You can arrange it, so sending it backwards if you want to layer things appropriately. Move the alignment. You have add a link. You can duplicate so that everything's exactly the same. Moving on to the photo, you can rearrange or reposition. This one is a rather large photo. So once it's selected, if we go to images, our asset should pop up so that we can rotate that. I'm just going to reposition this. Drag and drop. And you can just play with this however you see fit. You can also use any of these stock photos. Depending on what you're wanting to create. And then see this pops up in front of all of my other text. So we're going to, oops, arrange, and I'm going to send backwards as many times as I need to get it where I want it. And then when you select a text option, you have all of your normal text editing tools. Now, if we were to be making a flyer, which we'll see on the next section, next example, then we will come to the KWLS and search for a listing. And once we find the listing that we want, we can select, and then we'll have the option to either replace the photos that we're using or any of the listing details. But once we have this the way we want it, then we recommend download. And you have all these types of images. Now for uploading to social media, we recommend an image file, or if you have added any animations, either to the whole document or a specific field. When you go to download, you would save it as a video. And then once you save, it will pop up in your upper left-hand corner. If you hopped on late to get to this menu, we just came to the designs section. And once we selected our template, it took us into the editor. For our next example, we're going to create print. And this is where we're going to go in and create that flyer. Again, we have other classes that go into these sections more in depth. For this one, we're going to do a for sale listing flyer. And we're going to select the size that we'd like. I'm going to do the 8.5 by 11. And once you find the one you want, select use. And we're just going to work our way down the page. So for sale, we're going to want to change the address here. So you can either double click and just start typing. We recommend, if you'd like this, to use the typewriter, which gives you that option on the upper side of the screen. And then you can just type manually into this field and select save. But then this is, like I said, you want to come to KWLS. Search by address. Select the listing. Go to listing details. And then here you're going to want to replace the text field. And then in this case, I'm going to customize it a little bit. And then selecting the image, we're going to go back over here to photos. And we're going to replace. Let's say we don't like that one. You can just replace again. For this next one, because there is multiple fields that we want to update, we actually don't recommend replacing the text and instead manually entering it, because if that were to happen, it would simply place the number 3 in this text field instead of just replacing 3-bed, 2-bath. You would have to retype all of that. Again, switching out these photos if we want. Property description, you can rotate that out and then adjust your text box however you'd like. Change your text size. Once you select that logo, it should auto-populate to your logo section from your assets. That way you can just replace. Going back to images. You can always zoom in just to make sure that it's the way you want it to look. The flyers do not come auto-filled because you have the ability to customize all of this. So that's why we recommend doing the replacing with your text assets. Get rid of all of these pop-ups. Not quite sure what's going on with this one. Sorry about that, guys. But once you have everything the way you'd like it, again, download. PDF for printing is what we recommend, especially if you're going to order prints either through command or if you're downloading to either print at the office, at home, sending it to Office Depot or another printing source like that. The typewriter was once you have a text box selected, it's right here next to the font size. You can edit however you need to, save, and that should update. And then making sure that we save if you are done with your design or want to come back to it later. Next one that we're going to go over is an email. Now this one's going to look a little bit different. It's going to populate lots of different templates that you can choose from. So once you decide which one you want to use, you just select and then hit next. And then this one, when you select your text box, you'll hit the pencil to edit and it'll pop up your editing field over here on the left, and apologize, the right. And you'll see that even selecting just one, it can adjust. But you have the option with all of these. If you're replacing a photo, so for finding the email templates, you just went to Create Design from the main Designs dashboard. And then you select Email and hit Next, and it brought you to all of the templates. And then you can link all of these photos to either a landing page, web address. You have all of these different options. You can change the size of the image, the border, where it's positioned in the screen. And then once you've made all of your edits, you'll hit Done. That was right up here. Oftentimes we see people hitting Save, and that will more than likely take you to the main dashboard again without saving the edits you just made. And then moving on to the text, same thing. You just select and edit the pencil. You can also add any of these that you just select and drag and drop it wherever you want it to be. And then again, edit, paste your link to your page, however you want to set this up, and hit Done. And for this next part, we're going to do a preview. See, we got that a little off-centered, and it was not letting me save it. So I'm going to send a message to KWRI via the chat in command to let them know that this template was not saving this section so that they can fix that. And then let's say this all was replaced and looked the way that I wanted it. And then my information populated here. We've also got the Market Center information that populated from my marketing profile. And then this is also from the marketing profile. This logo right here is where we had mentioned at the beginning of class going over the marketing profile, the team photo, that even if you are not a part of a team, we recommend having a photo there because depending on the design that you're creating, it will populate and look like a broken image if you don't have a photo there. And once everything is saved and looks right in your preview, we recommend to send a test email. And you can just type in the email address. We recommend sending this to yourself so that you can see what your clients are going to see when it's sent out. That way, if things aren't looking the way that you want it to, you have the ability to edit that before it goes out. You can also download the template if you have another third-party source that you want to upload it to send out. And then hit save. Oh, okay. And then for the next one, create design, we're going to do video. We're going to select the neighborhood that we want to create a video on. Hit next, and it should auto-populate information for the neighborhood that you're working on. However, if it's not populating or you feel it's not populating correctly based on the data that you have, you can also manually type in all of these fields. You can change these: average price per square foot, number of homes for sale, average days on market. And then you'll see for agent information, your information should pull from your marketing profile, as well as market center brokerage information. If you select, looks like one of my fields is missing. And then we're generating the video. We recommend just waiting for this to generate so that it doesn't error out on you. And then you have the ability to sit and watch the video and see where all of your information populates, and then save. And now you have a video that you can add to an email. You can send out this video. You can download it and post it on social media. Send out your email campaign. You can rename it here. Finish, and that uploads it. Uploads the changes here. And this is your main designs dashboard. So one of the new features, it's only been out for a few weeks. Let's say you have been making designs like crazy. All you have to do to clear out some of the things that you don't want is select, and you can now select multiple designs, and then you can delete. There is no undo for the delete function, so we recommend being very careful if you're going to do this, that you don't want to delete something that you are reusing the template for over and over again. Let's say that you wanted to reuse this template for a different home. You can make a copy, and then it is going to put that first, that you can then go in and edit. Rename. To whatever naming convention you'd like. And there it is. That is designs in a nutshell. just to recap, we do go into each of these design options in more detail in other classes. You can rewatch any of our classes or our tip videos at our YouTube channel. And you can also, on our website, for any live trainings, you can go to Agent Resources, Training Calendar. Typically, if you do that, it's going to ask for your Market Center number. And if you don't know this, then you can reach out to anyone on your Market Center leadership team and they will let you know what that is. And then this link will bring you to our live webinar once the class is going. But you can also see the rest of our classes for the month, and you can download our training calendar based on your time zone so that you can view it. Thank you guys so much for coming. Again, if you have other questions that I either missed in the chat or that you think of afterwards, feel free to send us an email at support@scottleroymarketing.com and we will get back to you. Hope everyone has a great day.